Welcome to CCFR's Canada Downrange. Sport shooting is the most exciting and least covered sport in Canada. Come with us as we travel across our great nation to discover the coolest events, amazing locations, and the most interesting people. Today, on a special edition of CCFR's Canada Downrange, we get a look inside two trade shows held in the Toronto area, TACCOM and the Toronto Sportsman Show. Then we travel cross-country to go on a factory tour of IBI barrel manufacturers in BC. And we finish off the season with the Canadian Cowboy Mounted Shooters Association at their year-end finals in Alberta.
We're here at the Toronto Sportsman Show, and let's check it out.
At the Toronto Sportsman Show, thousands of visitors can explore the 300 displays all under one roof. Inside a 350,000 square foot exhibit space, there is something for everyone, including a casting pond and fishing simulator, as well as a birds of prey display.
So you're on lane one, actually. You can see your hits on the left-hand side there.
Okay.
Really nice grouping size. One of the best I've seen today for sure. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah, better hope so. Woo!
Push it back. So these targets here are going to move left and right. You can shoot any of the four targets. Bullseyes are 5 points. Ready?
Okay. Go ahead.
Military range fires.
48. You just got two. So that's kind of half of the system. The other half is we also do scenario-based training. So in this video here, I'm training Montreal SWAT, Montreal Police.
Thanks, Ron. Thank you.
With so many interested gun enthusiasts united together, this trade show was a great place for Rod to spread his message to like-minded individuals, as well as offering memberships to the CCFR. The Toronto Sportsman Show is well known for having interesting, even unconventional displays, but this is one of the reasons the show attracts such a diverse crowd of visitors. There were so many interesting shows taking place to entertain the visitors, including a lumberjack show, a chainsaw carver, and even an interactive canine variety show. The Toronto Sportsman Show is renowned for its crowd-attracting features, and in 2017, over 65,000 visitors streamed through the doors to shop, explore, learn, and be entertained. It looks like 2018 was no different, and 2019 looks to be bigger and better than ever. The vendors come from all manner of companies and backgrounds, and all facets of society, including civilian, military, and a large contingency of law enforcement. With so many interesting vendors on hand displaying all the newest gear and technology, there was something for everyone. For more information on the Toronto Sportsman Show, please go to their website at torontosportshow.ca.
Remember, if you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.
Hey everyone, we're at TACCOM, which is Canada's first sports shooting and tactical trade show. It is absolutely jam-packed in here. The CCFR booth has been packed. There's been a lineup to get memberships. Really appreciate all the support, all of you coming and joining in the fight with us. We couldn't do it without you. All right, we're here with Adam and Fred from FOC, Firearms Outlet Canada, and we're just going to chat a little bit about TACCOM. We're here at the very first sports shooting and tactical trade show, I guess we call it, right?
Yeah.
What made you think that this was a show that was going to this kind of attendance?
I think the community is hungry for a show dedicated solely to them. I think there's an enormous gap in the industry between guys who are coming out of PAL classes and looking to learn actually how to shoot. So we wanted to bring leading industry professionals, we wanted to bring instructors, and we wanted to introduce them directly to new shooters and get them educated and provide that level of training that we as a community need in regards to safety and proficiency. Showcase what we do, who we are, and to let people know that, you know, when people talk about firearms or being involved in the shooting sports, nobody knows what it means. Nobody knows that there's 10, 15, 20 different disciplines. And we're here to introduce people to these disciplines who are freshly out of their PAL class and have new licenses, but also introduce the public and give people an opportunity who may not have a license yet, who are curious, who want to know how firearms are handled in Canada, and then what are the steps into getting your actually license to be a law-abiding gun owner. Right now, just with everything going on politically, this is perfect timing for us as a community, as a company, again, to really provide good quality information, because so much disinformation exists in terms of, again, how firearms are organized and how they're controlled in Canada.
To learn more about TACCOM, please visit TACCOMcanada.com. And for more information on FOC and the products they sell, please visit firearmsoutletcanada.com.
It's exciting stuff and it's tons of fun.
Very much so.
That's great. Awesome. Well, thank you
Thank
very
you so
much for your
much,
time. Thanks, Fred. Your pro tip today is actually a movie mythbuster. All right, so what we're going to talk about today is handguns. Handguns in the movies are different than handguns in real life. And I'm going to explain exactly how you can identify kind of a blooper with handguns that happens quite often in the movies. So handguns come in 3 types of action: single action, and double action only. We're not going to talk about double action only today because it just gets complex and it's an animal all of its own. But we're going to understand single action and double action. So when we talk about actions on a firearm, the easiest way to understand what that means is how many things is the trigger capable of doing. So on a single action semi-auto, let's say, it's single action, so the trigger's only capable of doing one thing, and that is releasing the hammer. Okay, that's all the trigger can do. So now I've got a single action semi-auto here. The hammer's already forward or down or decocked. Those are interchangeable terms. So if the trigger can only release the hammer and the hammer's already forward, already decocked, what do you think is going to happen when I pull the trigger? Nothing, right? Somehow this hammer has to get cocked. Either the action has to cycle, this is a very light 1911, or somehow I have to cock the hammer myself. That's how you can determine a single action semi-auto. A double action semi-auto is different. How many things do you think the trigger is going to do on a double action? Yeah, that's right, 2 things. With one complete pull of the trigger, if the hammer's decocked or down or forward, with one complete pull of the trigger, the hammer will come all the way back, it'll get cocked, and it'll be released. 2 things. That's what the trigger's capable of doing. Cocking and releasing the hammer. Double action. So you see a lot of these double action pistols out there in the movies, and that's fine. But the movie mythbuster concerns this guy right here, the single action. Now I didn't have a 45 ACP Colt 1911 here in the studio. That's I've got that somewhere else. So I only had this 22, but the frame size is very similar to, well, it's identical to a full-size Colt. So they're big guns. So you tend to see actors with big hands using, 1911s, right? But it's a single action semi-auto, and here's the blooper. They'll be, demanding the microfilm or release my family or whatever the conflict is. They'll be pointing this gun and they'll have their finger on the trigger. And you, now knowing so much about these guns, will go, guy's got his finger on the trigger and the hammer's forward. Gun's doing nothing. So he might as well have a brick in his hand unless he can actually cycle the action himself or somehow cock the hammer. And to cock the hammer with this little part of the grip is called a beaver tail. To cock the hammer yourself actually takes a little bit of practice. So not easy to do. But if you're using this thing to protect your life in some crazy circumstance where your family's being held hostage, I don't think you'd be waiting to cock the hammer yourself. So there you go. Now you can wreck the movies for your friends. You can say that's a single action semi-auto. Might as well have a brick in his hand. It ain't gonna shoot no matter how long he pulls the trigger. So I apologize for wrecking the movies, but hopefully it was a little bit entertaining for you. So movie mythbuster, share with your friends. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
I'm Ryan Stacey. I'm with International Barrels in Chilliwack, BC, Canada, and you guys are about to get a tour of the factory. Okay, so International Barrels started July of 2018. We're a year in and we're producing lots of different types of barrels, all high quality stuff. We've been cutting barrels since December, so it took us a while to get all the machinery and things up to snuff. Our main thing is precision rifle barrels, but we also produce some pretty high-end AR-15 barrels. We can do custom barrels, depending on what the customer's after, providing it's not super complicated, because we run our profiling on CNC machines, so it takes a bit of programming to get it sorted out. This is some of the reamers and whatnot that we have, and the other two. This one is a 260 Remington, which is a super popular 6.5 millimeter cartridge. It's right up there with the 6.5 Creedmoor. So before we actually do the rifling process, obviously the barrel has to be lubricated, so we lube it up properly. And then it goes on the buttoning machine. The button goes through and it comes out, and it's super cool. So we take bar steel that comes from various mills around the world. Right now we're using German steel, but it's very high quality rifle grade steel. So we take that, after it's stress relieved the first time, we drill it. So this is what the drill looks like. It's got a section cut out, and that section is to help the chips and the cutting fluid to wash out the back of the drill so they don't get any weird stuff tangled up in the actual cutting process. These round things are guides that go on the gun drill, and they're what keeps this flexible drill running straight. Then we ream it out to its final dimensions, goes on the hone. The hone totally smooths the bore out and makes sure that the dimensions of the bore are completely even for the rifling to go in. The barrel put into the chuck, and the reamer spins, and it reams out the barrel to the very, almost the very dimensions that we're looking for the bore. After it goes on the hone, it gets quick lapping, and then the button goes in, and the rifling gets put on. So it goes in as bar stock, and it comes out with a rough profile. The threads cut on, the CNC machine cuts everything. As you can see, there's extra on the muzzle. We do that on purpose because if you're jamming that into the muzzle, you're not going to have a good result. Once the rifling gets put on, it goes into the oven for stress relieving. Then once it comes out from there, it gets another quick lap, and then it gets profiled and chambered up if it's going to be chambered up, and away she goes to the customer.
IBI's barrels are handcrafted to achieve the highest quality final product possible, good enough to exceed the standards of the world's top shooters. For more information on the products they sell, please go to the IBI website, internationalbarrels.ca.
Remember, if you don't stand up for your own ability to own and use firearms, who will? Join the CCFR or donate right now at www.firearmrights.ca.
Hi, my name is Heather McKenzie, and I'm one of the coordinators for our Canadian Mounted Shooting Finals here in Red Deer. We're so excited to have you guys join us who watch our Canadian Finals.
Please put your hands together as these lovely ladies head to the arena with our flags and our sponsor flags.
This is our second year having our official Canadian Finals. Our first year was in Saskatoon, and then we moved it to Red Deer this year. So there's a total of 5 stages, which encompasses our main match, which determines our champions, and a stage would be another word for a run. So a total of 5 runs combined. We shoot 2 Colt 45 revolvers. They're single action, so I have to pull the hammer back in between each shot. We have 5 rounds loaded in each, so we'll shoot 5 balloons with one gun change, and then 5 balloons with the next gun. We have almost 70 different patterns that are randomly selected at a shoot. So we shoot black powder blanks. They're real guns, but they're just loaded with black powder. So they go about 20 feet. There's never any projectiles. We also have a shotgun and a rifle class, which is really cool. So we're able to get a bit of everything, and it's pretty neat. One other thing we should talk about is something that's really cool about our sport is it's a family sport. There's a couple families out there that have 3 generations competing. One of our challenges with that is in Canada, our wranglers can't shoot until they're 18. They do their ground shooting, but they can't shoot on a horse. But it's incredible to watch our youngsters out there. Tonight we have our awards ceremony and we get to award our champions, so that's really special for everybody.
They sponsored the Rookie of the Year award, and I can honestly say I would not be the shooter I am today without you guys. So thank you.
The best way is to call up their local club, and we're all, I mean, this sport, everybody is so friendly. Everybody was so good to me when I got going. You do have to have your restricted gun license. So once you get that, you attend a clinic and with your horse, and you go through the process of learning how to shoot yourself as well as gun breaking your equine partner, and then you're on your way.
For a listing of all the mounted shooters clubs in Canada, please visit the national website at mountedshooterscanada.com.